Let's get into this, my dudes. I'm going to make sure we are online because I am in a hotel and wanting to do this quick live stream with you guys and introduce you to some new services that we're going to be doing. And I'm going to track comments on my phone because I don't have a second monitor here. Hopefully, you guys can see me and hear me. Mobile stream from Boston. I'm going to get logged in here so I can watch and talk to you guys on the phone here. Awesome. I can see your guys' stuff here. The legend himself. Dudes, I don't know if I'm a legend, but I am happy to see you guys. It's been a few days. Flew out here on Monday. It is Wednesday. I did not have a video for you guys yesterday, and I'm sorry for that. Got a new streaming camera for the mobile setup. And got some good lighting here, so it should be set up pretty decent. A little quiet, they say. I'll talk a little more into the mic here. Should be okay. So this video is just a real quick one. So I was gonna do an overarching kind of marketing kind of pitch type of thing of some of the services and stuff that we're expanding with BitsBeTrippin. Most of you guys know that we have expanded the team. We now have 3 employees. In totality with BitsBeTrippin, and we're expanding hopefully soon even more with a range of services that we're providing in the crypto space. So it's going to be, you guys have seen some of the videos lately have had like Compass Mining, as a sponsor, and, we've had a few other sponsors out there, and what we've looked to do is try to expand the footprint of BitsBeTrippin and try to bring more to you guys more often, not just in video, but in other content like education content, that sort of thing. So there can be a series of things that people can subscribe to really take them through a crawl, walk, run when it comes to crypto and mining and understanding the background and the history of how things work. I've been working with a few people to try to get that codified to where you guys would have a more produced, set of content that was very tailored for crypto, for new folks. And, some of you guys that are veterans out there that have been mining and participating in this space, really having somewhere to send folks over to that's kind of a concise, no, BS setup into crypto. If that's buying, if that's setting up a wallet, going through a hardware wallet, that sort of thing. And really just down to the brass tacks of setting those types of things up and, being an augmentation to the current industry. So there's the education pieces, and that extends over to the retail space over at Crypto World that I'm working with the team over there at Crypto World in St. Charles, which is a retail physical location. You guys saw me at about, I don't know, a month and a half ago on their grand opening, which is a unique setup in when you think of just retail businesses in general, something that's dedicated to the crypto space. It has swag and all the other fun stuff when you walk in there, 3D printing and some of the knickknacks and stuff, but really positioning that to have a couple really cool on premise. You can go in there, you can talk to people about mining, you can start to understand on how to hook up and do some very specifics, and then also have that kind of extension of somewhere to go just to hang out and talk about the things that you like around the space, especially like around mining. I mean, there's short of the few conferences that are every year that not everybody can make, having this kind of, grassroots community as people are, expanding into doing more mining, if it's ASIC or it's GPU mining, having somewhere that kind of pivots, the start of that kind of local meetup type of thing when it comes to mining, right? Just to have, you know, shoot the crap with people and stuff. So I think starting a more regular kind of event of that around, and basing it right there in the first part of it in St. Louis, um, I think is going to be an exciting thing to be part of, and help actually get people some exposure to me when I'm out there. I've talked to a lot of people when I'm out there doing that kind of thing and having a regular schedule with able to go over there and talk to people in the person, in the flesh, that type of thing, and making some more visits around stuff. Expanding also opportunities when it comes to more enterprise services related to this space. Like there's a lot of larger farms, and there's the company structures that are built around whenever you start building out a larger farm, that you start looking at having other services such as insurance and banking and all these other things that you have to operate when you're paying your the different bills and stuff that you have with your crypto farm, and then how to align banking relationships and insurance. So offering a I would call it a suite of who to go to. So working with some of these banks around the country, talking to insurance companies, that sort of thing, to try to set up at least that relationship, that initial discussion of that relationship. Now, I think that's done, and what we've been trying to do is do that through just education, just calling up and talking to these other entities that are not familiar with crypto space and getting them comfortable and understanding what crypto is, how it works, how liquidity works in it when people are exchanging cryptocurrency, that are service providers. So providing a service to the industry by doing that, and working those business relationships out with those entities, where they're paying for that service from us, um, but it's giving them the option to now have a more comfort level when they're talking to an up and coming farm that's wanting to expand, and then these farms and folks don't have to go through these hoops in this space because people just genuinely don't understand the space, right? So I think trying to get that to where you guys will have an avenue and maybe a registry list of banks that that understand the space, and providing that as, of course, a free service to the folks that are looking to go from that registry, but really working with the our revenue piece of that would come from working with the banks, because the incentive for them is that if they understand this, mind you, some of these operations are not small operations, and by all intents and purposes they're infrastructure. So going into those conversations and telling them you're dealing with somebody that's not going to be sitting there moving their equipment. This stuff's expensive, has to get set up, there's power agreements, there's all these licensing agreements, that sort of thing, that have to get in place when it comes to getting a facility set up. And it's like a permanent service provider. So having a good relationship with that, I think, is pretty vital. So really trying to help nurture that discussion, and just using the experience and the knowledge of being in this space for a while and mining and having operations and that kind of thing, helping people kind of get to that. Now, right now, a lot of those are focused primarily in the US, but looking also to expand that. Can we help other, you know, uh, locales get that education, and working with a few folks that, are multilingual, and helping us extend that to outside the US too, because it is a worldwide effort when it comes to cryptocurrency. So just a lot of stuff in the pipeline, guys, on this. This isn't it. I mean, we're also looking at providing audit services for existing farms that are either looking to turnkey it, meaning they got a good operation going and it has a revenue stream, and they're looking to maybe put it up for either sell or any of that, of being that third-party service audit, or come out and do a certification of like all the rigs that they have, do effectively a third party audit of that to validate and verify all the things that are out there, in this space, especially, if you're looking at co-hosting or any of that kind of stuff, having that confidence that, hey, the building exists, they have good perimeter security, they have a solution for downtime, they have multiple connections, that sort of thing. Just kind of doing that due diligence to validate that space and give somebody else a peace of mind. So I've had several farms over the years reach out about doing something like this because they were either trying to sell or something like that. So now we're just putting some structure and formal around it and hiring folks to help out with that. So I'm just really leaning into that as a person that's been in the space for a long time to help nurture that kind of vertical in BBT. So really expanding a lot of BBT operations to be more um, accessible to some of these larger entities and leverage our experience on the ground. Of course, that doesn't take me away from helping everybody out there that I can get into this space and be able to mine. I mean, that's the roots of BBT. It's what I love and passionately try to make as much videos as I can with you guys. Because I genuinely enjoy this stuff, man. There's nothing like firing up a good graphics card when you first get it and you're trying to figure out like how it works and go through the settings and just that hunt on finding the best efficiency possible. I mean, I live for that kind of stuff, guys. You know that. So I don't want to get away from that. I'm just trying to make sure that I can leverage my experience and time in this space in a lot more broader sense, when you look at the industry at a whole and just the folks in the industry that I know and that I regularly talk to or have some exposure to, are some of the largest entities in this space. I mean, I talk to and I've helped, just be a collaborator on ideas when people come to me on large, companies that are now very successful companies in this space. I've been part of a lot of those kind of initial conversations. I've talked to people throughout, since 2013. I mean, from everything from Genesis Mining and with Marco Stringe and the whole Hive, group back in 2013, and they turned to be a very large company through Wit, that you guys have seen me interview with Whit Gibbs, the CEO of Compass, a few times. I mean, I've been part and parcel of a lot of large companies in this industry, just kind of in the background, just helping just from just the experience when people ask about things. And I'm trying to now supercharge that from a BBT standpoint to really, help expand and exposure for that. So, um, you know, I, you know, it's been a long time coming, and it's just something that I wanted to try to communicate with you guys, let you know that if you see some changes to the BBT website and you start seeing this kind of more, enterprise aspect to some of the stuff that we're doing, that's really what that is. And it allows me to help provide, um, you know, for this space for people that are passionate in it. And, we're going to be doing hiring with that too. So there might be some opportunities coming up that you guys will see. We have a couple other videos in the pipeline where people have seen some of the videos that we've been making and looking for, other people to hire too. So if you're interested in working in this space, there's going to be some opportunities coming up for that. I think that, we got a couple large initiatives just internally with, the immersion and the farm. And I've seen some people asking about the immersion and stuff. We still got that going. Um, a lot of those kind of things that I'm trying to make sure that you guys get exposure to the different aspects of crypto. Um, but that was kind of the few minute pitch of just like what's coming. I'm out in Boston actually through the weekend and going to be doing some stuff with you guys there. And I'm going to try to meet up with a few people, I think, since I'm out here. I mean, there's a few people that have reached out to me on Twitter that, hey, man, you're in Boston, dude. That's where I live. Like, let's go get a beer. So I'm going to try to find out and meet up with some people. Maybe we'll throw a stream together, with folks out there in the space. And, you know, give you guys a few minutes also to ask some questions and stuff. I see some people. I see a super chat here. Can you explain in the video how to use the Eden network for ETH transactions and what the pros and cons are? Well, we haven't touched it yet, but I do know that we got a few out there capturing some of this content right now. Looks like BBT Vanessa is on there, so she'll take a note of that. We'll create a little Jira ticket and see what we can do about researching that, my dude. Miner Collects says, I'd love to apply for IT at the farm. There might be some opportunity there, my dudes. When's the BBT pool coming? We looked at some pools back in the day, and it's that's quite the event. And pools are almost enterprise entities themselves these days. A lot of, especially if you're going to support a Bitcoin and Ethereum mining and any kind of competitive level now, the competitive landscape is really expanded with the MEV operations. When it comes to miner extracted value, because you essentially have to put a side stack there to be able to participate in MEV. And that side stack could be millions of dollars in crypto that's just ready to fire to participate in the MEV space. And then you got to have you know some folks that understand scripting and really how to take advantage of the bundles when it comes to MEV bundles with the Flashbot stuff. BBT meetup. That's you actually bring a good point, Smokey. There we got with Crypto World, we're looking at maybe a couple smaller meetups, maybe in the St. Louis area to start, and then expand that out to possible a larger conference that is mining centric around GPU mining. Of course, there'll be some vendors there with some small ASICs and stuff, and more than likely there'll be some Bitcoin miners out there too. But I always like the mining conferences. It's just really, you meet a lot of really cool people that are just, in this journey with you. And people really tackle some of the problems that affect all of us when it comes to heat dissipation, hot and cold lanes, understanding a better, design around how to set your rigs up, that sort of thing. I mean, there's a lot of innovative, ideas that come from that people just don't make YouTube channels and stuff and talk about, but I'd like to help bring exposure to for people. Brian asks, are you mining RVN right now? Yes, we still are mining RVN. RVN's doing pretty good today, I think. It's up to 12 cents today. And Bitcoin's on a tear right now. Well, will we see all-time high? We'll see. Martin says, I can't believe you're in Boston. If you do a meetup, I'd love to come and thank you personally. I'm looking into it this weekend, so it might be. I'll post something out on Saturday if we're heading down to a bar or something in Boston and take a look. Have a little impromptu meetup out here in Boston. I'm actually out here till Wednesday, so it's a long trip. And then when I get back, there's a handful of things that I have to get done and prepared for. It may take a little trip up to the farm for a few days to get some of the content of where we're at right now in the immersion. And then we got the Ravencoin cruise coming up in mid-November. So I'm going to be on the Ravencoin cruise. It's with Tron Black and a handful of other folks that are a part of the Ravencoin core. And that's going to be an interesting thing. I want to bring the whole camera set up and all that. Miss BBT will be there with me, and that's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully, get some real good time with Tron and the team and understand where the roadmap's going with Ravencoin. I have not been tracking it as much as I should have, but we're trying to build out this company setup right now and get some of these services enabled. Got BBT Vanessa right now handling the chat right now and trying to keep me on schedule with getting some videos out to you guys. And then we got BBT Samantha, you guys will meet here soon, helping to get a lot of things organized. And we have you guys know BBT Todd out there at the farm. We're looking at expanding some of the other stuff out there too. So farm footage. Party hosers just started mining because of you. There you go, my dude. Enjoy your journey. Now, crawl, walk, run. Anybody out there that's in this space, I always tell them to start small, understand it, get comfortable with it before you drop a lot of cheddar on this space when it comes to mining. There's BBT Todd. Taxes and regulations are the most thing I'm worried about. You know how everything's tracking. I think that the taxes and the regulatory front right now are going through discovery, and I think Bitcoin's showing you right now the price discovery on it that it at least the investors and people spending money on it right now are comfortable with where they see things going. And I don't see Bitcoin going anywhere when it comes to a regulatory front. And I think the Fed's got its work cut out for it to at least get through some discovery. It also has to do its due diligence and make sure that it's protecting investors. So there are mission statements of those agencies, and they got to run their course on what they're trying to do. And I think that's where some of that education and that effort that goes through, if it's Senator Loomis or any of the folks that are very up to speed on crypto, help educate everybody else. It all comes back down to the understanding of what crypto and the innovation brings, and the fact that permissionless engagement is revolutionary. The fact that you could be anywhere on this planet and you have access to any kind of smartphone and a PC, that you can download a piece of open source software and instantly have access to the world's largest global network payment system, and like without any real huge amounts of effort, right? And now you can interact and receive payments, and it just fundamentally snaps the line a lot faster. So you don't you don't suppress that kind of innovation. You figure out how to be a participant on it. It's just that whole decentralization thing gets people all twisted, because we live in a society worldwide that there is this construct that you need to control things. And when things are not controlled in the way that people think, they have a hard time reconciling with that. So I think that discovery is being made right now. And I think there's a lot of young, innovative people that are working hard to make sure not only people understand the aha moment with crypto, but just really start to expand the services and the ties into so many things that it's going to become absolutely apparent that this is something that's here to stay, and that's going to expand and revolutionize, not just payments and interaction, but just an entire, Web3 uh, paradigm shift in the way we communicate and transact information. So I think it's going to be a collaborative, piece across the world, and it's just going to take them time to get there. And that uncertainty creates a lot of volatility, but I think all roads lead this to more discovery leads more price discovery. Reading through some of your guys' questions. I haven't done one of these in a while. You guys missed these streams. Remember, I used to do these all the time back in the day. We also have a stream coming up here when I get back. I'm right now notionally planning it for the 18th of October. I'm going to have a few of the guys on from Compass. If you guys are interested at all in Bitcoin mining and just where that space is going and how to interact with it, there's a big push right now, especially from the decentralization aspects of Bitcoin and a few companies out there that are making accessible hardware that's not, $10,000 a unit price, to become part of a Bitcoin miner. And um, we're going to have some good discussions, I think, on that. I'm going to have the guys from Compass, Zach and William, on the BBT channel. So we'll be on here, and we'll do a live stream from our side here and get you guys some exposure to Compass and some of that background. Marshall Long, hire me, big dog. Like a boss, my dude. You do mind some big blocks, my bro. I need to catch up my boy Marshall too here. But yeah, so a line of services, you guys will start to see those here soon. If you guys are interested in any of those services, if it comes to the audit piece or any kind of banking relationship stuff, um, or any of the education services that we're starting to provide, we are kind of ramping up on employees related to that. And if you fit that kind of model, there might be some opportunities for you guys to apply for some of that as we start to align our rec for that, and find some opportunities there. There's also a possible co-location opportunity that we're working on right now too. that if anybody has Bitcoin miners and need a place for them, we may have one for you here soon. So a whole bunch of things in the pipeline right now. Really excited to finally start leaning into this more, and providing you guys some good services, and you guys, and from a name you guys know. I mean, we've been BBT, uh, this channel and my participation in this space, at least from a uh, an exposure standpoint with like the channel and stuff, has been there since 2013, and I think one of the first channels out here on YouTube talking specific around mining. I mean, when you go back and you start looking at some videos, there were a couple people that would do like home stuff in the milk carton days. I know my boy Marshall Long on there has been doing that since the milk carton days, but like that actually had video content and showed you guys how to do it. Um, Jay says, legit, hit me up on that beer. I want to see if you can sign one of my 3060s with that. I'll hit you up, Jay. I think you hit me on Twitter, and I'll let you know what's going on for Saturday and bring that 3060. I'll sign it for you, my dude. And Fox Crypto dropping in like a boss, too. Yeah, smash that like button, my dudes. 117 people in here. There should be 117 likes. Simple Meerkat says, the Bitcoin ship has sailed. I don't know, my dude. Tell that to the $55,000 price point right now. I'm running almost up to all-time highs. Trying to build my own rig. What are you risk buying because the used inflated market? It's real hard to time a market in crypto. This is a very high. If you're trying to buy hardware, it's just a really hard time to justify the purchase of hardware. Some of the smaller channels and stuff reaching out like, hey man, like I want to make more content around this. I just can't, I feel like I'm shilling to the space if I'm buying up all this expensive hardware. It's it's different for anybody and everybody. What I mean by that is there's a tolerance for um risk, coming from a space where I was able to pick up GPUs at $200 a piece, when it was complete blood in the streets. Um, to pay in, 2.5 times that price now, it turns me off on buying new hardware right now. But I also understand that some people, get lost on the internet one night, find one of these videos, and try it maybe out with their home PC, and then 2 days later they got crypto, and they're like, wait a minute, I get it, I understand why people are doing this, and then they start trying to reconcile, should I spend you know $800 on a GPU that's probably worth $500 or $400? And it really comes back down to what your goals are, and if you're going to go long term on this, and you play a speculative game on some of the coins over time. Since 2013, that's worked out several times over. So is that going to work out for future gains? Who knows, man? I mean, all we can do is understand what the development teams are doing with some of these proof of work coins, and that they're trying to expand the use case and give opportunity and features. If that's like something like Ravencoin doing NFTs now, if that's ETC, taking some of the DeFi stuff that Ethereum's doing, and being a native EVM based coin, to where it can inherit a lot of that work that's already been done on Ethereum, to some of these other coins that are trying to make other partnerships like Ergo and like Cardano. I mean, like, when you are putting hash power to a particular network, you're securing it, and for that you're getting compensated in a token. That token may be worth more at a later time, and it may be worth less. There were several tokens that I had mined, I believed heavily into, liked the communities. The Feathercoin was one of them. So some of the old G's here also have mined Feathercoin and know what I'm talking about. I mean, we were pretty long on Feathercoin, and it was an awesome community, and I had a lot of good conversations with people in the community. It just never really took critical mass of any sort. It never adapted to some of the innovation, um, and developers moved on to other projects, and that can happen on some of these projects. You look at all the different tokens and coins that are out here; those usually start or at least the original ones usually started with a vision. Somebody wanted to make a change to Bitcoin, couldn't, and went to spin up a copy of Bitcoin in some way, made some changes, changed the algorithm, and popped out their value proposition on it and said, here's our value proposition, what we're wanting to try to do. So, like research the coin, research your what you could get out of it, and being a participant, and then make that decision internally if you're willing to take the risk on the hardware, paying the elevated prices. But again, with anything with mining, that hardware, especially on the GPU stuff, you can recoup some of that cost. I mean, that's part of the advantage of GPU mining over everything else. Ice Cold Bill R says, I bought 7 cards in the last 2 months while crypto was sorted down, but still paid about 2,000 for each card. Yeah, it was stuff wasn't down whenever crypto was down. It was still super high. People were still chewing them up. Villain in this game says fourth quarter is going to be big. Well, I mean, right now it's setting up like it's going to be. All right, my dudes, right at 30 minutes, 31 minutes. I was going to do a quick 30 with you guys. We should have a produced video for you tomorrow. I had some content that I had recorded earlier that I'm going to try to upload from this hotel. Hopefully it has a decent, it looks like it's holding a pretty decent stream right now. I mean, you guys could tell me if the quality was crap or not. I got a new camera set up for this setup here when I'm traveling, and as long as it's a good upload, I'm going to get some content up there for we can have a normal proper video. I think we did one on 6600 XT versus the 5600 XT, because some people are understanding that the 5600 actually outperforms the 6600 pretty much in every category. Besides, the 6600 is a little more efficient when it comes to the AMD and several algorithms. So that video tomorrow is on that, just explaining the differences between those two. And we're going to have probably one more live stream this weekend with me being in Boston. And of course, I'll have a few more have a mining model update for you guys on the transition from Ethereum to Ethereum 2.0. There's been a lot of traffic on the timelines and the progress that the ETH1 team has made for the merge. So some details around that. So hopefully that was good, guys. And I will catch you guys here later this week. And happy mining. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Trying to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year if possible. And I'll catch you guys. Peace.